So guys, here are my front panels. I'm going to start from my front panel. So I just went ahead to fuse this side with a paper stay. You can use a hemming gum or hairstay, whatever you want. So I just fused that side. So that's the parts that will overlap this one. I'm just going to sew down this one like so. Then this part will just overlap it like this. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So first off, this other side that I'm going to be putting the fused part of it, I'm just going to go ahead and sew it down like this. You can just use hemming gum to just press this down really, but I'm just going to sew it down like this. So you try to, as much as you can, to maintain your a very straight line. So try to keep your line straight. It's the same print in different colors. Like I have this fabric in so many colors, so I kind of used this one for a previous project, so I have like scrap of it. So I was just thinking, why not if I use it to like design this placket side. So this fused side is going to serve as the placket, so why not let me just design this side. So I just said okay, fine. I don't know what you think, if it's fine or not, but if you don't want it, you can just keep this part. So this is what I'm just going to be doing. I'll just lie the fabric, like I went ahead to fold it in half, then I gave it a very good press. Then I'm just going to put that in between the fabrics like this, in between this side, so that it will just like reveal just a strip of it. You can do as much or as less as you want. So I just want just a little, I just want a little bit of it popping out. So that's what I'm just going to try to do. Then I'm going to bring it over to my sewing machine. Then I'm just going to try to sew the closest I can. I'm sewing on the initial fabric, just closing up that point, and then making sure that the red fabric revealing itself is kind of even. I used white thread because initially I just wanted the thread to serve like some form of decoration, so it's just to make it final. So you can totally just do what you want. I mean, that's the good thing about tailoring, you get to choose what you want to do. So it's just creating design. It's just, I just kind of saw it in my head. I don't know how, if it's going to turn out nice or not. So our back piece, so you can see this is our back piece. So this is our interfacing, or sorry, our yoke, or whatever they call it. It's yoke, sorry, not an interfacing. So the back yoke is going to be like this. So what I'm going to do is to join the front and the back piece. So I want this yoke to be outside, like it should be revealed on the shirt. So I'm going to bring my front piece. Remember I said I'm piping the neck, so there's nothing much I'm doing on the neck actually. So this is the wrong side of the back, this is the right side. So on the right side, I'm going to match right sides facing right sides like so. So you remember this yoke is supposed to be like this. This yoke is supposed to be like this. So this will be our back side. This is the yoke like so. Then this side is supposed to be like this. Then we have the other front piece that is supposed to be like so. You can see like this. So what I'm going to do now is to just find a way to make this yoke so that I can seal for me to be able to conceal the raw edges on the shoulder line. I'm going to bring this yoke forward like this. So the right side, so if you look at what I did, this is the back piece, this is the right side of the back piece, this is the wrong side of the back piece, this is the wrong side of, so I'm matching wrong side facing wrong side. The front piece, the front shoulder, that's the shoulder line, the wrong side is facing the wrong side of the fabric, like so. Then I'm going to pick, so is leaving us with right side like this. So I'm going to be sewing like this. Then I'm picking this back yoke that is supposed, when I'm done, I'm going to put it right side facing right side like this, so that when I'm done I can turn it over like this. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying anyway, but what we have is right side of the back piece, wrong side of the front piece, then right side like this, then wrong side, right side of the yoke. Then I'm going to be sewing on the wrong side of the yoke. So I'll do this side, then I'll turn over and explain the other side again for proper understanding. So I'm just going to match all of them like this and ensure that it's well aligned, everything is intact. So I'll sew using 1/4 inch sewing allowance. Cut out any excess. So by the time I turn this yoke back, you can see I've concealed my seam allowances. You can see I've concealed it. So let me do the other side for you to see. So I'm matching both wrong side of the fabric is facing each other. That's the front and the back panel. The both of them are facing each other like so. Then I'll just grab the back yoke, bring it further, make the right side to face the right side like this. Then this is the wrong side of the yoke, so I'm going to sew on the wrong side of the yoke. So I just believe that you understand what I mean by now. If you don't get this side right, it will confuse you, so you can just watch this video over and over again, so it will help you to understand what exactly happened here. So I'm turning the yoke over, so you can see this is it, everything is concealed like so. So I'm going to stitch down my yoke. I'm putting aside everything like this. Then I'm going to sew down my yoke. You can decide to use whatever allowance you want to sew. So I'm just trying to match my yoke properly, and then I sew. It's really easy, guys. It's just for you to like focus and try to get it, but it's really easy. So you just try as much as you can to match. So in some shirt tutorials you will see like adding a back vent or anything or something like that, so you can add that. In another video I'll show you how to do that, but for now we are just doing a basic shirt. So you can see my yoke is being matched. So at this point we're almost done. If we had our sleeve already, we can add our sleeve, but I'm going to go ahead and do the neck for you to see. So this opening, I'm going to finish off the neck, then I'll finish off this opening here. That's the yoke and the shirt body. So you're just going to sew it closed. so that by the time you're closing your neck, it won't be a problem for you. So you just close this over like so. So here we go. So I have my bias strip here. This is what I'm going to do, guys. You remember I told you I cut this in too big, so I'm going to just chop off on the inside part of it so that it doesn't get too bulky and it won't relax or lay down properly when I'm trying to like close it off. So you kind of chop it off if you cut yours too big too. Just like I said, if you're cutting yours, 2 inches will be fine instead of the 3 inches that I used. So 2 inches will just do the trick. So those excess you have on the inside, you chop it off. I'm going to chop the one on this side as well. On the red fabric, because I want it revealing on the another bias on the red fabric. I want it revealing on the piping on the neck. Just for extra design, you can actually omit this. So I just cut it as a bias also, but I folded it in half instead of folding it like this one. So I'm just going to pick one edge of this. Look at it. I'll open this, then I'll put this strip on the wrong side of the fabric. Then I'm going to bring it here. You have to be careful while doing this, so I'm going to add extra care and precaution. So I'm just going to sew this like this till I get to the so guys, I've gone ahead to attach the red strip to it like so, and I've pressed it down. So this is what it looks like. I believe it looks beautiful. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll fold it like so. On one edge of the strip, I'm just going to turn it over like this. That's on the right side. I'll just turn it over like so. So what I'm just trying to do is to close that edge so that it can enable me to attach that place neatly. So that's just what I'm going to be doing. Just give it a do, then turn it over to the right side like so. So this is just it. This is what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to try to pipe my neckline. So on my neckline now, the right side of the shirt, I'm going to put it in between. This is how to pipe something with bias actually, so it looks really fine. So even on kaftans, you see this on male kaftans also. So what I'm going to be doing is to put this in between my bias like this. I'll just tuck in my neckline like so. Then on this line that I attached this red strip, this seam line, I'm just going to sew on the same seam line. Make sure you can do it on another seam line for whatever purpose you want to, but I want mine to be on the same seam line because I want that white stretch to be like visible around that side. So it's going to look like somewhat like an embroidery thread. So that's what I'm just trying to do. You might not be able to notice that so much because of the camera, but that's just what I'm just trying to do. So I'm just going to keep tucking in my neckline in between the bias. So ironing this bias before this procedure is very important, guys, because this will determine the outcome. So as you can see, it's covering up quite nicely. And then you don't have to rush this procedure, guys. You shouldn't even rush the procedure. It's not as if you don't have to. You should not rush the procedure, because this side is going to be like very visible on your dress, so you want it to be like really neat. Like you would want, what you want to achieve here are like very clean stitches. So you just take it gradually, no need for a rush. So I'm just going to do this. So by the time I get close to this other edge here, the same thing that I did, that I turned over from the beginning, is the same thing I'm going to do around here. So from here, I'm just going to measure where my neck stops. Then I'm going to just cut out the excess, raise my foot, take this out. I'm just going to cut out my thread. Then I'll flip like so. I'll also flip this over, then I'll sew, just to cover up that, just to close up the just make sure you cut out this excess bunch of fabric there. Then you flip to the right side. I'm going to use my scissors to bring it out properly. Then I'm going to go ahead and put in. Then I make sure I align this side. This is going to be the front side of my shirt, guys. So you make sure that you tuck it in properly, like so. Hold it down. If possible, you pin it down if you want. Just that I don't always get what I want from that pin, so I'm just going to try as much as I can to tuck that in properly before I go back to continue my stitch from where I stopped, exactly at the point I stopped initially. So at this point, there is no need for back stitching, because that's not going to help the outcome of the neck. So no need for back stitching. So at this point, we back stitch a little. So that is it, guys. I'm going to just use maybe a candle or a lighter to just burn out some of this thread that is here. So as you can see, look at what it looks like. Just cut out any excess at all. You cut it to the best you can. Cut out any excess, because those excess threads, no, they just kind of make your clothes look unfair. So this is the neckline, guys. I piped it instead of a collar, so I just piped it with a bias. This is beautiful. So this is what the front side of the shirt looks like. Look at it, guys. This is beautiful. So I'm just going to go ahead and close the bodies, then I'll fix the sleeve. So in closing the bodies, I'll just turn them over like so. I'm just going to turn right side facing right side, then I'll close it using the seam allowance that we left earlier. You remember we left 1 inch seam allowance, so I'm going to use that seam allowance to close up my shirt. I'm also going to be leaving a slit on the garment. I'm going to be measuring out my folding allowance. Then my slit, I want it to be 7 inches. Remember, I left 2 inches for folding the blouse, then 7 inches for my slit, which makes a total of 9 inches. So I'm going to sew and mark that 9 inch where it is. Then I'll stop 9 inches to the hem of the shirt, like that. You can leave this, you can make the slit as long as you want. You can even close it up if you don't want a slit. You can curve this side out if you want it to have that sort of a curved shape, but I don't. I just want a straight shirt dress. So you can totally just have fun with it. That's the good part about sewing. So I'm going to go ahead and close the other side of my shirt before I fix my sleeve. So I'm just going to go ahead and close up this side. I'll measure out 1 inch that I left for my sewing allowance. Then I close it up again. You should totally mark that 1 inch before you sew, but I'm really just kind of eyeballing it. And there's something I've noticed with tailors mostly. I'm actually making this shirt for myself. So if it were to be for a client, like because of that perfection I would want to, I would most likely just like mark it before doing it, so that it comes out really perfect. So there's this Nigerian term they call see finish, so it's totally what I'm doing to myself. I'm doing to see finish to myself. So this is it, guys. Our shirt dress is almost ready. So I'm just going to iron the hem side, this slit. I'll iron it, close it nicely, everything. Then I'm going to come back to attach the sleeve for you to see and iron everything. Then I show you how to attach the sleeve and possibly attach my buttons. I'm going to be using press buttons for this, so I'll just attach everything and come to show you. I'll show you the sleeve first. So guys, here we go. I have my sleeve here. I folded it up like so. This is how I want it. I just pressed it down with gum stay. So hemming gum, sorry. So I'm just going to fold it like so. Then I'll measure out my biceps, sorry, or my sleeve, where how loose I want it to be. Want it to be loose, so whatever measurement I have there, I'll divide it by 2 like this. Then I'm going to put that over, or bring it here, and so I'm going to also mark my armhole round around the sleeve like this. Then I'm going to sew from there. I'll do the same thing to the other side. So guys, I've gone ahead to give the shoulder line a good press. That's our new shoulder line. Remember, this was where we joined. but I said it was coming over to overlap. So this line here is not going to be our shoulder line, so this is going to be our shoulder line here. So I'm just going to attach my sleeve now. That is, I'm going to match the seam line, the side seam line, together with the seam line of the sleeve, right side facing right side. Then I'm going to sew from there. I'm going to match it on the right side and sew on the wrong side. Then the shoulder point will meet the midpoint of the sleeve, like that. So that's how I'm going to be sewing it. I'm just going to try to match everything together. So I made a notch at the midpoint of the sleeve, so I'm going to ensure that that notch meets that point I said was our shoulder line. Then I'll match everything like that. You can pin this down, guys, before you sew. So I'm going to be sewing with 1/4 of an inch sewing allowance. Make sure my notches match each other. You can totally use any method of adding sleeves that you know of. So this is it, guys. Look at what it looks like. This is it. This looks nice. So I'll just do the second part and I'll hem the dress, then I'll bring it over for you to see. This is the finished look, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I apologize I was unable to film my closing remarks, so I had to do a voiceover. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, share this video with your friends, subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I have a new video up on the channel. See you in my next video, guys. Bye.